Hey guys, so I'm so sad to report that Matthew Perry has passed. Chandler was always my favorite character on Friends, but I do want to break down what I'm seeing in his chart. A lot of people are curious if he did OD, and I don't think he did according to his chart. So let's take a look. All right, so as you can see, Matthew Perry's moon in Scorpio, it's 7 degrees. The moon in Taurus, this eclipse was opposing his moon. It's a 2-degree orb. So yes, it was a direct opposition. Now, moon opposition moon means to me that he was trying to find some kind of emotional balance in his last days, but eclipses are chapter endings. And in the past 2 years, his book did come out and he was very honest about what he went through in his addictions. Moon and Scorpios can really feel things super deeply, and because he was a Leo ascendant and a Leo sun in his first house, he was a great performer. So that led this moon squaring his Leo sun led to a lot of intense feelings and a lot of problems with controlling himself. In Matthew Perry's chart, we can see that his 26-degree Leo sun is actually squaring his 25-degree Scorpio Neptune. And when Neptune in Scorpio is squaring a sun, yes, definitely we're going to have some problems with addiction because that is escapism. And Scorpio is going to the depths. And a lot of people with water placements, heavy water placements, and poorly aspected Neptunes do suffer with addictions. But on the day of his death, his Neptune was not poorly aspected. So I'm not seeing anything with addictions here so far. I also am looking at this 5-degree moon, eclipse moon in Taurus, and it's over his 10th house, over his Saturn. People with Saturn in the 10th house in Taurus are so hardworking and they put their all into whatever they do. So this moon is on his Saturn, and usually that makes people very, very serious. And I feel like, to me, with that seriousness, it's I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get grounded. He might have felt a little depressed, but I don't see him ODing with this chart. You also have to be aware that Taurus does rule the root chakra, which is the stomach, and Matthew Perry did previously have a surgery on his intestines because of his painkiller addiction, and that was documented in his book. We also see that Mars, Sun, and Mercury are all opposing his Saturn right now. So to me, that's a big times up because Saturn represents father time. And, he was essentially ascending out of his comfort zone. I really don't feel like that this was intentional. I feel like it was just his time because Mars opposition Saturn, it's resemblance of a non-permanence. It really is time's up. You have a shortage of time. Now, the last thing that I do want to talk about, there's 2 more things I do want to talk about real quick, and that is one Neptunian thing that I did find on here, but transiting Neptune has been on his north node for a very, very, very long time, but I do want to show it to you guys. Okay, so Matthew Perry did have a north node in Pisces. So a big part of his life's mission was to face his addictions and make them public. Neptune has been transiting over his north node for quite some time, really for the past year or so. So that does tell me, really for the past 2 years, it's been within range of conjunction. So that tells me that, yes, he has been speaking about his issues and, trying to escape from his issues, I feel by speaking about them and making them public. Okay, last but not least, I want to talk about Hygia, which was right over his descendant in Aquarius at 10 degrees. So yes, it was an orb of this eclipse. If you look at the moon there, the moon in Taurus at 5, it is squaring that Hygia, the transiting Hygia over his descendant. And also his natal moon in Scorpio is transiting that Hygia. So I do feel like he was actually not emotionally ready to go. That's what I keep on feeling, he did not want to go. He was not ready to leave this planet. I really do feel like this was just results of years of damage on his body, and we'll see what happens. But I think that this was not something that he inflicted upon himself recently. This was just long-term effects of his long-term drug use and alcohol use. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. Rest in peace, Matthew Perry. We love you. We love you always. And if you'd like to book your own reading, it's SarahAshleyAstrology.com.